Hello everyone, this is Rupa working as an assistant professor in GRIT. Now we will discuss about one of the ecosystem component as a pig in Unit 4. Let us move on to what are the contents we will discuss now. Introduction to pig, execution modes of the pig, and one more is a grunt shell. The pig is one of the ecosystem component in Hadoop, right? For processing of data, we generally use as a map-reduce programming, right? For processing of data, we will use the map-reduce programming. The pig is one of the level of abstraction for processing of the large data sets. If you want to process the data, then we can go for using as a pig also. Why? Because whenever you want to go for using as a map-reduce programming, as a programmer, you need to specify the map function followed by the reduce function. It requires multiple number of map-reduce stages, right? It can be a challenging one. We need to write the mapper function, reduce function. It's a complicated one, right? Then with the help of this pig, we provide multiple number of, that means a rich set of data structures has to be available, and it contains many transformations you can apply to the data, and it is much more powerful than the MapReduce program. Like here we can use the joins. When we take a simple example, finding the difference between MapReduce and the pig, when we go for join the data by using a MapReduce programming, you need to write some lines of code. But by using the pig, just you can use one of the operator as a join, directly you can join the data. That is the difference between MapReduce programming and the pig, right? Now we'll see the pig, what exactly it contains, how we can execute the programs in pig, and what is the grunt shell has to be available within the pig, right? Now we will see the pig is made up of two pieces. So, right, one is a language used to express the data flows. We can call it as a pig Latin. We have one of the language as a pig Latin used to express all the flow of data. That's why we can call it as a pig is a data flow language. And one more is execution environment to run the pig Latin programs. We you we can use the local execution mode in a single JVM, or we can go for using a distributed environment also. That means the pig will works under on the single JVM. For your local machine also, you can download the pig and you can install that one, and you can execute the run the pig Latin programs. Otherwise, you can connect with the Hadoop, that means distributed environment. There we can run the pig Latin programs. Okay. If you can use within a local machine, that we can call it as a local execution mode. If you can run the programs in a Hadoop cluster, that is a distributed mode, right? That means pig need two things. One is a pig Latin program, and second one is execution of the pig Latin programs. Environment for execution of the pig Latin programs, right? Now we will see the pig Latin program is made up of a series of operations and transformations that are applied to the input data to produce the output, right? We can apply some series of operations, we can write some series of commands that are applied to the input data, obviously to produce the output. So these operations describe the data flow. The data flow in the sense it contains read operations, write operation, processing of the data, right? The pig execution environment translates into an executable representation and then runs. Why? Because whatever the code you have to written, whatever the commands you have to written in a pig, that will translate into the executable representation for running of the pig Latin program. Pig internally it has to transform into the series of map reduce jobs. But as a programmer, you are not unaware of this one, right? Internally, the pig, whatever the statements or the operations or whatever the commands you have to written in a pig Latin program, that internally has to be converted into the map reduce jobs. But as a programmer, we doesn't know about how it has to be changed, how it is converted into the map reduce jobs, right? Internally, whatever you have to written in a pig Latin program, that automatically converts into the map reduce jobs. Okay, why? Because that will be the basic application on top of the Hadoop. That's why the pig Latin program is also internally converted into the MapReduce jobs. Now we'll see what are the features of the pig. Pig contains the rich set of operations. That means so many number of operations has to be available to write a program. Ease of program. Easily you can understand the pig Latin statements. If you aware of SQL, easily you can understand all the statements available within the Pig Latin. It is easily extensible. You can extend, you can add multiple number of functionalities to the Pig. It contains user-defined functions also, and it will handle for all kinds of data. That means it will handle the structured, unstructured, semi-structured. Okay. These are all the features of the Pig. Now, we see what are the execution modes of a Pig. Pig has two execution modes, are the types like local mode and MapReduce mode. Local mode is work on the single JVM. MapReduce mode is work on the distributed environment, right? When we go for work with the local mode, Pig runs in a single JVM and access the local file system. Well, if it is working on local machines, obviously it will access the local file system only, right? This mode is suitable only for the small data sets. If you are working with a small data sets, then you can go for using as a local mode working on a single JVM. The execution type is set using -x, or you can use -exec type option. To run a local mode, you set the option to local, then you can give a command name as a pig -x local, that is moving into the shell, that is interactive shell. Obviously, when we go for working with a Unix also, you can go for using as a shell. There you can type all the commands. In the same way, if you want to work with a Pig Latin program, you can go for a shell. There you can go type the all the commands. That is one of the interactive shell, right? Now we will see the MapReduce mode. If you want to work with a MapReduce mode, that has to be work on the fully distributed cluster. It is used to process the large data sets. If you want to work with the small data sets, you can go for using as a local mode. If you want to work with the large data set, you can go for using as a MapReduce mode. To use the MapReduce mode, first we need to check what is the version of the pig you are downloaded, and is it compatible with the version of the Hadoop or not. You need to check that one. Version of the pig and the version of the Hadoop is compatible or not. Then second one is we need to set the environment variables. For setting of the environment variables, go for a Hadoop home for finding which Hadoop client to run. You can set the environment variables in Hadoop. And the third one is you can configure the cluster's name node and resource manager by set the Hadoop config directly. Otherwise, you can go for properties, that means pig.properties file has to be available in configuration directory. There you can set these properties also. One thing is, if you want to work with the MapReduce programming, first you need to check the version, then you can set the environment variables, then you can configure the clusters name node and resource manager. Right? After configuration, then you can connect to the Hadoop clusters. You can launch the pig by setting the option as a -x option or -x option to MapReduce. If it is a local, you can use the -x local. If it is a MapReduce, you can use the -x MapReduce. Or entirely you can omit this one. Why? Because MapReduce is a default one. Just you can type the pig. It is obviously moving into the grunt shell, right? Then we can go for how we can run the pig programs. There are three ways of executing the pig programs. All of which work in both local mode and MapReduce mode. All these executing ways has to be run on a both the modes, local mode and MapReduce mode. When, for example, the things are script, grunt, and embedded modes. You can go for using as uh, script is one type of running of a pig program. So we can run on a script file that contains the pig commands. You can write a script file where you can type all the commands and save that script file as a so file name as script.pig. The extension is .pig. And you can run the file, you can run the complete file because that file has to be containing all the commands. So that is one way of running of a program. The second way is that is a grunt shell, that is interactive shell. There you can run all the commands interactively. You can use the command, it shows the output. And the third one is embedded mode. You can run the pig programs from the Java also using the pig server class. It's much like as you know that JDBC to run the SQL programs from the Java. In the same way, you can write some user-defined functions in Java, then you can embed those functions within the pig ecosystem. Right? These are the three ways you can run the pig programs. One is write all the commands in a program type as script, and you can save that script in a .pig, and you can run the file. And otherwise, you can use the shell as a grunt shell, and you interactively you can run all the commands. And the third one is writing a program in another language as a Java. Then you can embed that language into the pig. by using Pig server class. Right? These are the three ways you can use for running of the programs. Then the next one is we need to see what exactly the grunt has to be worked. The grunt has a line editing facilities. It contains all the line editing facilities. You can type the command, you can edit the commands, right? For instance, you can use the control E combination. We'll move the cursor to the end of the line. We have one of the keys is a control E. To move to the cursor to the end position, you can use the control E. And grunt will remember the command history also. As you know that within the Unix, you can use the up and down arrows. So it will shows the previous commands which we have typed, right? The same way here also. It shows the all the history, and you can use either control P or control N, or use and do previous next or up and down arrows. Okay, it shows the previous commands. Another handy feature in grunts is the grunts completion mechanism. There which will try to complete the bit Latin keywords and functions when you press the tab key. It remembers only the keywords and the functions available within the pig. Just you can type one or two characters and press the tab to complete the corresponding keyword related to the pig. For example, you can type as A is equal to for each B GE. Here there we need to find the generate. You can type only GE two characters and press the tab, it shows the generate automatically. And one more thing is you can customize the completion tokens by creating your own file also. There you can write the all the tokens. It doesn't contain any of the white spaces. The matching is case sensitive, right? And after writing your file, then you need to put that file in a Apex class path. Okay, like that also you can customize the auto completion mechanism. You can get a list of commands using the help command also. And when you have finished your grunt session, you can exit with the quick command or by using equivalent shortcut as a /q. Right? Within the grunt shell, it provides the line editing facilities, and one more is a if you want to move to the end of the line, you can press the control E. And if you want to find the history of the commands or previous commands, you can use the up and down arrows or control P or control N or previous and next to provide previous and next commands. And one more is it contains the auto completion mechanism to complete the keywords and functions available within the pic. And you have a help option has to be available, and if you want to quit that one, you can go for using as a quit command, or directly you can use the /q. Thank you.